My name is Julian and I'm a metalsmith from Cranston, Rhode Island. I make Gothic-inspired jewelry kind of like this. I was making a lot of work that it was authentic to myself, but it wasn't quite hitting where I needed to. But I made a few pieces that were a little darker in their style. I was just oxidizing jewelry to make it darker in aesthetic in general, but adding textured finishes and things like that. And my fiance, she suggested that I just go darker. She said, just go as dark as you possibly can with the work. So I started incorporating all sorts of elements that I thought would be in line with that. And I found that I really niched myself into this area that fit very well with who I am and what the work needed to be. When I first started making mourning jewelry specifically, I had experienced my grandmother's death, and I started thinking about how we grieve as a culture, and there isn't a lot of it in American culture in the way that there used to be. I started exploring just how we can make objects that are meant to last, but also that are intended to be heirlooms and things like that. And then that started connecting me to how close to the skin we can get with jewelry, and how that becomes a personal object that we end up creating it as a talisman for ourselves. Rings specifically, which is what I love to make, are always constantly connected to your skin at all times, whereas pendants, things like that, you might notice them, but they're usually over the clothing. This is one of my effigy pendants. It's from my latest series that I called Imperia. The face was sort of inspired by Warhammer 40K, mixed with H.R. Geiger's original Alien movies series. And I liked the visage that they used of the person's face, so I wanted to sort of reference that. When I was discussing with my wife about what kind of content I could make using some of these tools, I was thinking of how I have several pairs of pliers that are just broken from other brands, and I would be like, just like, look at this trash, and then throwing it out, and then they're like, oh, Lindström though. I've had bad experiences with a lot of other pliers, just in general. They've been flimsy, they break, and a lot of the materials that they're using are really low quality, so they'll just break very easily. But something like this, I mean, I haven't used a tool of this quality before, and just seeing how delicate the taper is, I mean, it's beautifully machined. And these ergonomic ones, I mean, they're so comfortable. I was saying earlier that I'm very heavy-handed, so I'm constantly gripping very tightly with my pliers when I'm closing jump rings, but these closed like it was butter. I didn't even notice that there was any resistance at all with these tools. So yeah, the quality is there for sure. I would love for my jewelry brand to eventually be like a huge global thing. I want it to be as big as possible, and I'd like for it to leave a legacy. My name is Julian and I'm a maker and fixer.